Hello, hello, hello. Oh, it's super loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. Hello, friends. You got Brento back again with a little more content. Okay, just realized that, yeah, we're not doing separate video. We're just using that as the webcam. Sorry, give me a moment to get it together here, guys. I am trying, but we are multitasking as always. So here's our video from yesterday, AI music discussion part 1. We're back today for number 2. And hopefully, yeah, there we go. You can see me. All right, so today I wanted to talk about a different application for AI music, and that is in the context of background music for other projects. Hey, shout out to Alan West, who joined the group, looks like just yesterday or today. So we are up to 3 members now. Woo! Reggie with a G, Jesse Schroeder, Jesper Schroeder, sorry about that, Jesper, and of course the great Alan West. I think it's interesting because the default position for any traditional musician is to crap all over AI. You're doing yourself a disservice. It's coming whether we like it or not. And today I wanted to talk about a different application for using AI. And I wanted to offer some examples, real world examples, actually. So I'm kind of searching around my Dropbox here where I put music that I've worked on for various clients. And lots of times, a client might provide me with something that's very, very, very rough to start with. And I'm trying to pull up an example of such here so I can play it. And then I got to kind of verify that, okay, this looks like it might be it. All right. So, all right.
Driving on to Santa Fe, just another passing day, and I'm taking my guitar.
I'm turning the volume down a bit.
Home to play some old boy. Driving on to Albuquerque.
So pretty clearly, that's my client singing to a generic drum backing track or drum machine, if you will. Now, for our process, what we would do in most cases would be to create what's called a work tape, which is a rough rendition of how we would like to produce the song. Normally, we would just follow, either use a tool or pick out ourselves exactly how he created that album. I mean that song with regards to the chording. I'm just gonna let you hear a second of our finished version of this song, just so you can appreciate how far something like this would get taken in our production process.
Driving on to Santa Fe, just another passing day, and I'm taking my guitar, hope to play in some old bar. Driving on to Albuquerque, when I'm there I'll find some work, and I'll find a place to sing. Hope there's joy that I can bring. I'm driving on to any place that will hear my song. I'm driving on to any place where I can belong.
Okay, probably the easiest thing we'll listen to all day. I was looking for a work tape. I don't think we actually did work tape that one because we were much further into the actual studio part of it. But anyway, so you can tell from A to B, the original, had out of tune vocals being sung rather breathlessly. And, you know, we were able to take that, work with the performer singing, and then use a combination of replacing notes with another singer and tuning to get the vocal to a much smoother place. And there are really greater examples of this in this project. Now, let's talk just for a moment to put it all in context about where I'm going with this. I am creating for one of the three brothers that were involved in this project. The one brother that didn't sing, he plays harmonica, but he's probably the most literary of all the brothers. Two of the brothers are 82, they're twins, and then the other brother I think is 86 right now. That's Ron. That's the one I'm closest to. He's really my friend. In addition, these guys are all my friends, but I mean, like, in addition to being a client, he's a close friend now, and I've worked for him for as long as my dad has been gone. And it's ironic because he reminds me of my dad a lot, having them both having been in the Navy in the 50s. But I digress. Ron cannot sing. It's not even something he'd be upset for me to say. He cannot sing. He is a basic harmonica player, but he can come up with some cool ideas, which he did, and we made a couple songs out of. In addition to that, I wrote a couple of songs that I actually sang and let him play harmonica on. And in a nutshell, that was his contribution to this album. Well, the album's got, like, 11 songs on it or something. By the way, the album is called Down the Road by the Vigil Brothers. It's pronounced, it's spelled Vigil, V-I-G-I-L, but Down the Road by the Vigil Brothers on all streaming platforms. Check that out if you'd like to hear the full production. I'm kind of proud of the work we did on it. But in some cases, it was impossible to get these gentlemen who really were not rehearsed to sing the song in such a way that it would just be a simple matter of tuning it. And as I aforementioned, Ron cannot sing. So two of the brothers, the ones that are the more serious musicians, that would be, I'm not going to name them. That's not cool. I want to make sure they'd be okay with me talking about this. Ron, I know, doesn't mind. The other two brothers, let's just call them that. They're funny guys. They're creative guys. And their content, I'm sorry, it tends to be about, like, romantic relationships with the ladies, right? Like, they're making love and, another passing Tuesday night, and only you can say for sure if our sharing will occur. I'm quoting lyrics here. And this was the source of much amusement for the rest of us, younger guys in the studio. And we had a blast working with them on these songs. But anyway, I digress. Ron's songs are all about the time that a girl agreed to go out with him only to make her boyfriend jealous. All self-deprecating humor. So we spent the better part of 2 years, and I say that like 2 years, not like working solidly, but these guys, they all live in other places, San Diego and Colorado, and they'll come here for a week or two and visit their family. And during those trips here, we'll work on the album. So very proud of the record, but we worked really hard to get it where it is. If you listen to the finished product now, again, I'm proud of it. Maybe not my taste in all the songwriting, but for what it is, I'm very, very proud of it. Well, we discovered in playing with Suno and another AI platform called Kits.ai, which I'll get into a bit more in a minute, that we could take we could take Ron either talking. First, I tried it with just his speaking voice. You need about 15 minutes, a sample of a speaking voice, and turning that into a voice clone, which will then follow any input. Guide voice with music or without music is better without music. And it will produce that in his voice. Now, there are some limitations. You have to get it in a kind of a pitch range that he can sing. Well, in theory, could sing, even though he can't sing. And so I tried to be really clever, and I decided we're going to make a comedy album, of these songs, essentially produced strictly through non-live instruments, just AI. I'm going to use lyrics. I'm going to write custom songs and let the AI pick the music. And so I did that, and eventually was able to get stuff in a style that I liked, and then we'll have some of Ron actually setting the songs up, and they're all based on short stories that he's written. So to me, that's a cool enough idea, and it's not like I'm just handing over what Suno gave me as the final product, which a lot of people are going to really, who cares, man? I do what I want. Okay, so it's like nobody's going to hear this but family and friends anyway, and it's just for a limited audience. But the gag is, we're going to get this all sounds very polished. And now that I put his voice on it, it does sound like an idealized version of Ron himself singing these songs if you know about AI, you could tell that it's AI, but if you don't, it just sounds like a very precise vocal performance. Okay, we're going to hand this over to the other two brothers, the ones that write about making love and the ladies. And we're going to present this as a finished work like we went in. We're not going to mention AI. It's a joke. Eventually, we're going to, let them know. But they're going to hear this, and they're going to be blown away that older brother Ron, who everybody knows can't sing, is actually singing these songs, delivering them on time, in the pocket, with a swagger like, Frank Sinatra. So that is how that project is going. And I'm going to get into that in another video showing some of that. But in addition to having Suno generate the music, there is the potential to change the words of what it spits out, or if you don't like how it sings a word, there is the potential to replace that vocal with your own vocal, use that vocal to guide a voice clone, and the end product is a client's voice singing this song. Okay, all that said, I hope I've covered that in a way that is understandable. All that said, when we were looking at songs to do for the Vigil Brothers Down the Road album, they shared with me a song a friend of theirs had written in the 70s, and all of them are performing it. I believe it's like at a nightclub in, I don't know, San Francisco, because they mentioned San Francisco, or maybe San Diego, somewhere in California. It's very, very live sound, 1970s. They had a violin player. They had two female backup singers, and 2 or 3 guys singing. And it's like electric. There's a electric 12 string in there, which is not something you hear very often. It's just really a very period sounding piece of audio. Not the highest quality, but good enough that I could work with it. Okay. So Ron's idea was, is there a way that we can take this song written by our friend and re-envision it with my, voice character singing it for this record as sort of a gift and a gag and a surprise for these guys. At first I thought, well, if I put this in as a 60-second sample of the sound of the band singing that song, it's going to give me something like it, but it's not going to be that song. It's going to change it. And sure enough, I experimented with that, and that was the results. I got some stuff that, live stuff in, you're going to get live sounding stuff out, so the quality is not going to get better with regards to the clarity. Well, I pulled it into Kits last night and realized that I was able to pull all of the files in. Actually, before I even go that far, let me see if we can play a little bit. This is called City Lights, by the way. Beautiful lyrics. Sing it out, John. Someone's running water close by the microphone. Check this chorus out. Now, I hear the singer shouting out the chords, and I realize that these people are just doing this song off the cuff, and the backing vocal girls are hitting that harmony, y'all. This is something that gives me a certain kind of feeling, and I really like it. But anyway, so with regards to Kits AI, just to give you a little bit of insight into how this is done, I'm going to share the screen with you here. This is the interface is called Stem Splitter. You can see up here, this is called apps.kitsai, but KitsAI is the website. You can go there and get this service. It will take an MP3 or any audio file. It won't take MP4, I've noticed, but MP3 or WAV file. You drag it into this interface, and it will split the contents off into the individual files. Now, it's not perfect. AI is assisting it. There's places where, like in this case, I don't know if there's you see I'm playing this and we're not hearing anything, so that might be a function of I'm not hearing it at all, actually. Might be just a setup of my oh, there we go. So when it can't separate things successfully, it lumps them into a track called other and then just splits the vocals into other. But anyway, it did split the vocals. So back to Audition, and we're going to show you what can be done. So in Audition, we see that I've already kind of pulled in the clone vocals, which have a problem. And I'm gonna let you hear the original combined track, drums, kits, bass. Not getting anything from either one of those. The vocals, other. Let's listen to what we got here. Nice backing vocals. You hear the little artifacting that it gives it. Sounds pretty good on the backing vocal part there. But now, all right. But if you isolate just the lead vocal, it's not quite good enough after. See, that confuses the vocal clone. Now, I'm going to let you hear the vocal clone of Mr. Ron singing, and this is his clone. So, two problems. One,
you always said to me,
all right, it's not clear enough. There's the pitch is wrong for the pitch of the vocal range of his clone, and the words are not clear enough. With the artifacting, it's just enough to screw it up. So then you get up hearing these sounds that are not good enough. They're not good enough to guide the replacement vocal. Okay, so now right here,
you always said to me,
if the pitch problem were solved, that part would work because it's loud enough and clear enough. Now, for sure, the one thing I do not want to do is get rid of those really sweet backing vocals, but I don't think I have to. Because I want to be able to mix those back in with Ron's vocal clone as the actual backing music. So where does that leave us? Okay, this is why using AI as a tool is not the same thing as not being an artist, and you're not really a musician, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. And I'm going to show you how and why right now. Okay, so we're going to add a new track. If I can remember how to do this, tracks. Add. We just want to add a mono track. Stereo would be nice, but we're going to do mono. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go phrase by phrase and just sing this. I'll let you see me and my silly self singing this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to this point and I'm going to listen to it. So for feel, I'm going to try to do that whole phrase. Let's listen to it again. I saw the city lights go out last night. I saw the moonlight drift across the bay. Now, I won't get this perfect the first time, but because there's I'm not hearing the music, there's no click track. I'm looking at it visually to get my cue. but I'll get something closer. Now, here's another thing. I am in a similar range to the output vocal clone, so that makes it's going to drive it better than what we have right there. So I can, in the interest of being able to make this kind of make some kind of sense, I can actually turn the music back on and just try to sing that first phrase with him. I saw the city lights go out last night. I saw the moonlight drift across the bay. Now, I'm going to do that through the whole song. You're not going to watch me do it, but I'm going to do that through the whole song, and then I'm going to use this vocal that I've just created, which is just super clear and in the correct range. And this will drive the vocal clone. I saw the city lights go out last night. I saw the moonlight drift across the bay. Now, I sang that in my lower register so I wouldn't have any problems with the actual pitch. Being a fat guy, it sucks when you're a singer because it tends to make you slur in, go from flat to on pitch, maybe even a little sharp, and then you sort of settle into the actual pitch, the proper pitch. And at the end, as you run out of breath, you tend to go flat a little bit. But this is kind of uniform across most heavy set singers that aren't super physically fit, and that's just what it is. But this will be close enough. You won't notice that. And when I get the output, it'll sound a whole lot more accurate from this, which I will then in turn bring back in here, turn off my vocal clone, turn back on the original vocals, pan them left and right, the backing vocal, the original vocal, and I'll blend the two. And there'll be moments when I'll take some down and brings others up. But anywhere the vocal clone gives me any jank where it's like, it doesn't sound exactly accurate, I'll just either copy that from the other vocal or just bring that vocal up and replace it. And then at the end of the whole process, you wind up with something that sounds a lot more like what I'm about to play you, which I hope I can play without too much difficulty here. I could play it from kits, but I know here I've already kind of done a little mastering process, and it's going to sound a whole lot better. And when I say here, I mean my iTunes folder. And so the name of the album, which hasn't come out yet, and hopefully the brothers won't see it. I don't think they will. Working title is Ron Vigil Sings the Blues. That's not going to be the actual title. But I wanted to show you an example of where I have actually done this. Now, I'm going to say the song I'm about to play, I'm going to tell you that to build this model, I wanted to see how far I could take this to drive the vocal model to be more accurate. And this Three Fittings is a song I wrote and just used Suno to generate the music for. And it put the cadence at a really good clip. It swings, right? Like it's Frank Sinatra, what made that guy great? Was he could sing whatever to whatever timing. It would be accurate. He would be on the one if he wanted to be, or he would be behind it in between the spaces in a cool swinging hip way. A non-singer, and even a singer, it's hard to do that accurately. When I tried to do the vocal clone for this, it was a double-barreled B. I had a hard time doing it, but I eventually got there just doing it over and over. In the comfort of my little sanctum here, I'm able to sit there and do that, not at $100 an hour. Well, I built out a chopped up version of what I needed to drive the vocal, and this is what I get, but because I wanted to drive the model, the part that makes the clone, the best example that you can give it is a dry vocal singing high notes, low notes to get the whole range, and then a lot of examples of words. Now, what if I go through and I have my friend Ron try his best at singing, or at least saying, every single word that comes up in the song, which is precisely what we did to build this model. So the vocal model that I'm using, which, here's how it looks on the site. I'll switch it over here where you can kind of see. You see, I created this character called, these are some other clients I've been working with, and this character called Ronnie Vesper. It's like, it's just a little nickname here. Here's my vocal clone. I built my image on a image of Elvis Costello, so it's all good. But you just go in to use this voice, and when I have that guided vocal, I'll just pull it in. There's settings that I can use it to control how the pitch that it tries to sing in. I can make it sing low. I can make it sing medium or high for the range. In his case, he has a medium pitch range of C sharp third to D sharp fourth, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers mean there. My musical theory fails me, but I digress. We're going to go ahead and listen to this a little bit just to kind of hear what I was able to accomplish with doing all that and then mixing it back together and then mastering it together.
45 days on the firing line aboard the USS St. Paul. Dreams of Hong Kong are in our, we sailors had it all. Not so fancy bars and a Miguel premium lager. Pretty young hostesses, but oh, the drama got larger. But Mom had a list, Joe's galore. Bobby's my son, she did implore. And don't forget your brother Dale, for his wedding in Mazatlan, no fail. Free fittings in Hong Kong, no, what a tale. For a suit so fine I couldn't let it fail. But my brother Dennis with his yard sale fine in a green plaid coat, oh it blew my mind. Mazatlan arrived, fatally in tow. Mom took command, we all had to go to the cathedral for confessions. What a scene! In suits so fine, like we stepped out of a magazine. Dennis stood defiant in his yard sale wear, a green-brown plaid coat. Mom's glare was a stare. No way, she exclaimed in sheer disbelief. Where did you find that? It brings me grief. Free fittings in Hong Kong, no, what a tale. For a suit so fine I couldn't let it fail. But my brother Dennis with his yard sale fine in a green plaid coat, oh it blew my mind. Mom turned to me, let him try yours, she said. My custom-made jacket filled me with dread. But Mom's so strong, yank it off my back. Dennis put it on, my world went black. The wedding went off without a hitch. Dennis in my jacket, I tried not to twitch. Guest admired the best man, looking so fine. Pa stood in the corner, sipping my wine. Free fittings, I muttered to anyone who'd hear, 'cause I watched my suit bring so much cheer. But Mr. Roosty, with a curious eye, pointed at me, asking Mama why. Free fittings in Hong Kong, oh, what a tale. For a suit so fine I couldn't let it fail. But my brother Dennis with his yard sale fine in a green plaid coat, oh, it blew my mind. So here's to the memories of Hong Kong's bright lights, and a wedding in Mazatlan, where my suit took flight. 3 fittings for a suit, and a yard sale coat. In family tales, this one will forever float.
And that is
Stars and baby memory.
Okay,
songs.
that little jibber jabber on the end is something I hadn't cleaned up yet. It's a byproduct of using a vocal clone. It'll start jabbering before the song starts, and sometimes at the end to just sort of get things rolling, I guess. Some filters in Audition work that way too. Like they don't actually start working good till about 10 seconds in, so you have to have a bit left over, at the beginning and at the end. But anyway, I digress. That's what you have. So that's going to do it for today's content, guys. Thank you for listening. I'm going to keep these going for at least 30 days. At least 5 of these a week. Got to have a couple days off, but I think that's a good example of how it's not just a simple matter of hitting the make art, make music button. There's more to it than that. That's why it makes sense to at least learn the tool. I don't see myself using it nearly that much. But right now I'm in a phase where I'm trying to learn everything I need to know about where it sits today, where it's at. Then I'm going to pull back and see what happens with this lawsuit. If the big four end up taking it over, I think there's a good chance of that. And I think they don't give a crap about artists making money either way. I think the technology will still be there, just perhaps owned by the suits that run the music industry, but who knows? We'll see. It may become illegal. So now is the time to learn this stuff and see if it's something that you can add to your toolbox, and that's all it is. I think for our next video, I'm going to go into a song that I wrote to use as a like an example of, hey, take these lyrics and make a song, particularly in the gospel genre, because it's a time matter. If you spend like 3 weeks coming up with a progression that you could have probably found, you can argue that you're not writing that progression, but I would argue that 145, look it up, it's been used. Okay, all the common chord progressions have already been used. You just happen to settle on them. You can't copyright a chord progression. You can't copyright a note. So that's where it's at. You're not as original as you think you are. But of course, I don't agree with just letting it do it all. You have to put some creative input. The more creative input and DNA you put into the soup bowl, when the soup's ready, that's going to be more you. And I do get the argument that it's a make art button, but for me, it's a tool, and I'm going to continue to learn it, and then we'll just see if it's something that I want to continue to use after this initial foray into it. But I just think there's a discussion to be had, and people that just go, "Don't talk about AI. I hate AI." To me, that's a little ignorant. But I mean, people can do what they want and say what they want. This, for me, I think it's worth looking at, and that's kind of the whole point of this group. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with the next little piece of content very soon.